Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. I am the Crypto Crow. I am live. I am getting food again. Thank you, dear. I greatly appreciate it. Dang it. 2 seconds a little late. I could have ate that before I started this live stream, but here we are. There's so much good news. There's so much stuff happening. It's a new day. It's a new dawn. And there's just so much going on. I mean, I almost can't believe what I'm seeing. Alex Lawson, what's going on? First in chat as usual. Yeah, man. I mean, just it's just unbelievable. I'm going to be loading up. I'm going to be loading up some stuff. Let's go ahead and scroll down Twitter a little bit just to see what's going on. Cardano has overtaken Tron, ladies and gentlemen. It is now number 9 in crypto market cap. And the only thing I really have to say to all of the Cardano haters out there, all of the influencers that, used to be bullish or were never bullish and then flipped the script and started hating on Cardano, all I really have to say to you is you lose. That's all I can say. We've seen so many cryptocurrency evangelists in the space for so long trying to dunk on Cardano, spread false narratives, talk mass trash, all in favor of what? I mean, realistically, you can't go into the tech of Cardano. You can't watch Cardano's progress over all of these years and realistically, with any grain of integrity whatsoever, try to dunk on it. You just can't. And the narrative I feel like there are so many narratives now that are going to be coming to a dramatic close as we start heading into 2025. And more people are going to start opening their eyes and understanding what is really going on across the board, across the world, everywhere that you may be. I think the narratives are going to start changing dramatically. And I'm a poet and didn't even know it. I do feel better. I feel there are so many things that have happened recently that have been just bringing me a better sense of peace across the board. Obviously, the election is concluded. We have a pro-crypto president that's going to be inaugurated not so long from now. We have a pro-crypto, I just want to call him a savior, honestly. I mean, Elon buying Twitter at a huge loss, and just doing everything he's done. And, I'm going to start looking like one of these crying liberals on TikTok, just screaming and crying to one another. But, when you feel like the world is closing in on you, which I do empathize a bit with a lot of the people who have been buying into these mainstream narratives for so long now, just being constantly hit in the face with fear mongering and lies and just so much negativity. And I feel bad for them because in their eyes, they believe that their world is about to end. But it's sad because they just don't seem to have enough sense to look outside of their echo chambers, to look outside of the media that they just absorb and they swallow constantly. And it really is sad because the opposite of that is for those of us that have been worried about our freedoms, our economics, inflation, just everything that is a part of that. The people who've been trying to thwart the adoption of crypto, who have been trying to work against cryptocurrencies, knowing full well that it can't be stopped, knowing full well that it is just on another level, that it's a new era. It's a new era of disruption. And we're starting to see that across the board in every conceivable way. And for someone like me who has spent countless hours, they say if you spend over 10,000 hours doing something, that's what basically quantifies you as an expert. I think I could effectively say that I'm a crypto expert. Having been at this, reading about it, watching about it, talking about it since 2017, for countless hours, each and every day. The funny thing is that even if I could quantify as being an expert today, I feel like I still don't know shit. I mean, honestly, that's how I feel. I feel like I know enough to know I don't know much. And when you look deeper and you try so hard to understand all of the nuances of an ever-growing, ever-changing space, it's difficult to translate all of that in a way that most people can understand. And that's ultimately what my channel has been about, sharing my journey since 2017, sharing my perceptions, my ups and downs, my ebbs and flows, and just trying to make sense of a space that sometimes can be so insane, so crazy, so destructive at times. And doing that against the grain of basically all of the narratives everywhere. When you're constantly trying to shed light on what's happening in the space, when you're trying to shed light on the destructive nature of like meme coins and how it takes value and liquidity from otherwise very, very valuable assets in the space in favor of number go up with no utility, no function, or no purpose other than a well-marketed pet rock for the founders to ultimately use its newly acquired customer base as exit liquidity, and people willing to play that game as though they're chasing a dragon in hopes that their lives are going to change tomorrow because they just happen to pick one that goes 100x overnight. And so much money has been lost in the meme coin market and continues to be lost in the meme coin market. And it's like, I'm all for the meme coin market for what it is. A silly joke, a fun community. There's a lot of community building associated with meme coins, and I applaud that. I've seen it. I know what value meme coins can have, but the majority of it is built on greed and manipulation and marketing, and I hate it. I do. I hate it. And, you know, we're seeing so many things play out right now. We're going to take a quick look at some of the charts of what's going on. Bitcoin's currently trading at $76,500. And you can see we've wicked all the way up to almost 77,000. We did reach a new all-time high at the conclusion of this election. I think it was something to the effect of 1.65 trillion dollars entering the market. Not the crypto market, but the traditional stock markets. And it's huge. It's huge what's happening. There is faith already being restored. And it's almost like, I hate to say this, but I feel like it's almost like a case of MRSA has been prescribed with the right remedy. And it's already starting to heal. And that's how I look at it. I'm sorry for those of you out there that are on the left and you're bought true, you're bought deep into the narratives that are out there, and you think that I can't for the life of me understand how anybody could at this point, with everything that's come to light over the course of multiple years. Just the abundance of lies and the manipulation and the fear mongering and the race baiting and the identity politics and just all of it. You know, I look at identity politics as a ploy used by people who would rather you judge them based on the surface, the color of their skin or their culture, over their policies and over what they're actually doing or planning and working on to benefit mankind or benefit the country. That's the way I look at it. It's a way to keep everyone divided. And the more you can divide people, the more you can trigger individual groups to act the way you want them to. And that's the way I look at it. And I just don't think that the country is cool with that anymore. To be honest with you, I don't think they ever were. But we're not even, I mean, I wrote this funny piece basically about, Hurricane Trump sweeping through and basically destroying every county that didn't have voter ID requirements, or it destroyed every county that required voter ID. Basically, any of the areas that did not require voter ID were red. I mean, and it's like, go figure, right? But it's just funny that it was too little, too late, I guess. It's just like, and because there were like 15 or 20 million less voters this election than there were in 2020, at a time where we have a far reduced number of mail-in ballots. I mean, I don't know what sense there is to make of that. I don't know if it had anything to do with mail-in ballots. I don't know if it had to do with the 5,000 lawyers that the red team had all over the country monitoring things and basically going straight to court the second there was an issue. I don't know if it was just people that lost their luster. They lost their, somehow you've got one part of this group of people just phenomenal, just, so scared to death. I've seen some of these videos. It blows my mind. Some of these people think that they're going to be rounded up and put in a pit. I mean, it's just like, it just blows my mind. Even though for 4 years you never saw any of that, somehow they think that's going to be different now. I don't understand the logic behind a lot of that. But, what I do know is that I do believe that the future is going to be significantly brighter. And I think that, I'm like excited. On top of that, I just went to the gym again for the first time. And I haven't been to the gym since I fought in March in Mexico. And, it's rough. I'm slow. I'm out of breath. I'm out of shape. I've been getting a little soft, but I think if I can start just going 3 days a week right now and working my way back up into something, I even like half jokingly mentioned to my wife, maybe I need to take another fight to motivate my big ass to get back in there full force. And she's like, no. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be 47 years old this month. And, man, it's tough because a part of my depression, and I'm just going to talk openly about it for a minute. A part of that is just getting older and not feeling like I've accomplished all that much in my life. And my constant, I'm always working on a million different projects, a million different ideas, a million things all at once, because I'm hoping that I achieve more than I have, and not necessarily for myself, but to give myself a better legacy that said I was here and I helped a lot of fucking people, and that my life mattered for more than just paying bills and raising some kids and just being, I feel like I've been given so many gifts, and I feel like my fear is having squandered them all on my last day. And I know that sounds really dark, and it is dark. But these are the thoughts that keep me up really late at night, which is why I have to fall asleep watching Netflix. And lately I've been watching Suits. And I'm just, these are the thoughts that plague me constantly. And I'm like, how can I add more value to the world, to my life, to whatever? And I think a part of the emotional depression that has come with that is feeling like I have never been able to speak openly about my opinions on anything, in fear of big tech shutting me down or penalizing me, in fear of, me not towing the line that is required of anybody in the public space, because if you don't, then you could lose your livelihood or even potentially your freedom to some extent in some cases. And it's just like, how do you deal with that suppression, that oppression? How do you go on and be yourself when you know that you use words and you say things that could be triggering to any individual person? And even if you mean well and you sympathize with them and you understand their plight, you can't speak your own mind because there's a financial interest in keeping you quiet. And there's just so much of that. And that's been a part of it. But, my wife has been learning all this new stuff, and we had such a great night last night talking about all kinds of things, and, all of the ways we've grown, both as individuals and as a couple after 14 years. I absolutely adore my wife. She is absolutely everything that I'm not. And just empowers me in so many ways, and she supports me in so many ways, as I do for her. Her passion in life is dance. That is not easy. And it's just like, she travels around and she trains with and learns from some of the best people from all over the place, and she's just constantly pushing forward to be as great as she can. And I've always supported her with that, because it's something that was kind of in a way denied her in her youth, when she was younger. And now she has to me, it's like me playing all my games, right? Whether it's video games or tabletop games, basically doing all of the things today that I was never able to afford doing when I grew up poor on Section 8 and welfare. And it's like, now I can afford some of these things. So I dive into them, and I do all of the things that, you know, all of the ideas that I have that I could never afford to even attempt to do in the past. And I feel like that is dance for her. And she's so damn good. And she's so talented. And she's got so much going for her. And it's like, that's turning into more stuff. And there's just a lot. And so I just wanted to basically share a little bit about what that post was about. And I really do appreciate everyone's support. I think there are almost 700 comments on that original post on Twitter. And, man, I love you guys. I do. I know some of you guys lose your patience and you're like, okay, Crow, you've rambled long enough. And you don't really give a shit about me. You just want to figure out, like, what do I have to say that's going to help you make money? More power to you, whatever. I appreciate you being here regardless. So yeah, man, Cardano has basically knocked Tron out of the top 10. As you can see, I should probably move this chat. I wish I could make that a little more solid, but it is what it is. So Cardano's moving its way back up. And I've said this, and I still believe this. Even before the Bitcoin OS news, just knowing everything that's basically coming down the pipe for Cardano, from Midnight to Chang 2 and the all of this stuff, activating all of us D-reps to be able to start, working, you know what I mean? Helping with the consensus system, the government body, just everything that's coming to fruition with Cardano. And I told people, man, I think we could hit number 3. And I know that a lot of people don't want to believe that, but what people want to believe isn't always, it is what it is. It's an opinion. And, there's a lot I plan on covering in the not so distant future as it relates to Bitcoin OS. I've already tried to put some feelers out to try and bring some of the team on, because I want to talk to them more about it. And I want to talk to the crew that's building all of these things, that's connecting the two. And I want to better learn and better understand more about everything that this is going to bring to the crypto table. And I saw a video recently where it was talking about, if just 1% of Bitcoin's value were to flow into Cardano, that means like a 40x of Cardano's total value locked. 40x. And it's mind blowing. And it's like, I have seen Angry Crypto, man. This guy, he's like on it. He's like following everybody, and he's always posting this stuff on Twitter. Dude's solid, man. His videos don't seem to get that many views, but on Twitter, he's great. I retweet a lot of his stuff. And, but he's been following, he's so many, I mean, everyone from Ivan on Tech to even, Becker is now basically saying, even Cardano is probably going to do pretty well. And like, people don't want to admit it because so many of these people have been dumping on Cardano for so long, just because they don't really understand it. I feel like so many influencers have been treating Cardano like a new language. And it's like, we all speak English. Cardano's speaking, something else. And we don't really want to take the time to understand it. So we'd rather just shun it and talk shit. And now it's like, oh, wait a minute. So many more people are talking Cardano's language. I think I better start taking some notice, because these Cardano folks, they're probably onto something, and I better know what I'm talking about, or I'm going to lose relevance. That's what I think is happening to some extent. They don't want Cardano to do what it's doing and start taking over the market because of everything that's been built, and they were left out looking stupid for neglecting it, for dunking on it, for basically trying to change the narrative. So now some of these people are starting to come around, and I'm like, you know what? Hey, more power to you. It's better late than never. Welcome to the club. But ultimately, I think a lot of these people have been pumping disingenuous garbage for so long, and a lot of it is a popularity game. and they're seeing the community grow, with Cardano being one of the top searched for, keyword things in Google Trends. With, there's just so much happening, folks. There's so much happening. Looking at Cardano's price, let's take a look. Look at this. Look at this crazy pump, man. I mean, this is from a local low of 32 cents, and we are basically pushing 40 cents. This is like bam, like that. And the question has been, can Cardano pump through all of these liquidity barriers? Absolutely, it's going to. I'm going to make myself a little bit smaller here, just so that you can more effectively see a lot of these charts. And at some point, maybe I'll go back to I don't know. If you guys like the live videos with a little bit of this, a little bit of that, then I'll stick with it, because it's a lot easier for me than recording a video, uploading it, maybe editing things here and there and all of that. But, this is the gist, man. This is Cardano pumping. I was looking through crypto or coin market cap, and I'm like, of all of the assets that are pumping, let's take a look at what the biggest pumps are. Aave's up 30%. Lido, Chronos, Maker, which is always doing really well. Of course, Doge is doing really well. I really wish Doge wasn't 20 cents or almost 20 cents, because I'd probably be buying some. I might pick some up myself anyway. Zcash up 20%. Pepe. Now we're just starting to dive into some of the more popular, more, bigger narrative assets, such as Sui. Up 17.6%. Now it's $2.31. That's great. Solana's up 16.8, almost back to $200. And then right under that, you've got Cardano up 16.5%. These are the top earners right now. There's maybe 20 of them. These are the top performing assets right now after this election, and Cardano is one of them. And everything else, all 30-something thousand, 40,000 tokens that are out there that are listed and basically have a home on CoinMarketCap, are below it. What do you think is going to happen as this market continues to pump and continues to work, ebbs and flows, ups and downs, all the way up to the next market peak? Cardano is going to continue growing in adoption, awareness, and price. And I know I don't always like to talk about price, but you can't avoid that fact. That's what's happening. So all of the narratives pumping all of the shit that's out there in crypto because some YouTuber got into the pre-sale, decides to pump it and then dump it on all of his fans the day he's talking about it in a video, making his followers exit liquidity, and like all the people that do that shit, man, they're scum. I mean, I'm sorry. That's just how it is. They're scum. They don't give a shit about you. They definitely don't care about you as an audience whatsoever. And it's always a them first mentality. And that them first mentality can often drive people to make false narratives around things that they prefer go up over what they believe is actually going to go up. And that's just the way, it all looks. But, yeah. So, and I mean, the number 9 in CoinMarketCap, that's just the beginning. It's going to go even higher than that. I will say this is interesting. Breaking urgent search for escaped monkeys from Bio Research Lab. This is, we saw this before, didn't we? I don't know. I don't even know. I didn't even dive into the story yet, but I just thought that sounded a little scary. The Cardano wave is coming. Cardano is Bitcoin's first L1 DeFi layer. Current TVL equals 231 million. Do the math. It's going to start really going bigger. And keep in mind, man, everything that's happening with Cardano right now, like I always say, I always use that analogy, man. It's that bow and arrow. It's that slingshot. It's just being pulled and pulled because some of these things haven't even come into play yet. Right? Like, midnight, it's coming, but it's not here yet. I want to learn more. I want to know more. When am I going to have somebody from the midnight team come on and actually talk about what's happening? But I'm working on it. I'm going to see what I can do. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive into some of the comments and questions, and we'll see what's going on. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the websites. I've made my case for that stuff right now. I need to go back to my original, background. So let's see what's going on in chat. Oh my gosh, there's almost 700 of you on here. That's fantastic. That's fantastic, folks. Thank you for joining me. Abscon, I haven't seen you in a while. did I see the other night? Crow, you and your videos helped me through last cycle and this one. I know I'm not the only one. Oh man, thank you, dude. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. You know, my wife understands it. You know, my wife gets it. She knows why I'm here. She knows why I do what I do. And yeah, I saw about Meld. I know Meld is basically closing or something now. I think I was bullish on Meld for like 48 hours once. And I just lost interest. And so I just didn't follow it. I still have some Meld tokens. How many Meld tokens do I have? I don't think I have very much. They never went up. They never did anything. I have 5,176 Meld tokens. They're worth like a total of $2. So yeah, whoop-de-doo. I never really cared either way, if I'm honest. It just, there were just things that were always happening on Meld that I'm like, that's not building confidence with me. So I'm just going to ignore it and avoid it. I kept the tokens because that's what I do. I don't just dump them. I'm like, you never know what could happen. Maybe there'll be something someday, but it is what it is. Let's see. What up, Iceman McPherson? Welcome. Crow is live. What's going on, Gravy Train? What's up, Crow? How you doing? Crypto Warp with a K. Let's go, Ada. Muhammad, you again. What's up, Po-Man 13? How you doing, man? Hey, Crow, good to see you, my dude. Good to see you too, Knight. Trump is going to make us rich. Here's the thing I also want to say, man. This really isn't just about all of everything that's going on politically right now is a much, much, much bigger deal for me. Here's the thing. You want the honest truth? I always tell people that I don't really believe much in any singular, particular political perspective as being a single vote topic. In other words, or a single topic vote. In other words, even if everything about Trump or everything about any particular candidate was trash, but they were pro crypto and that's all I had, I would probably still opt for the other candidate who may not be pro crypto, but has everything else aligns with what I think needs to happen to better the country and the people in it. And that's the truth, man. I don't really care about single topic things. And honestly, I feel like anybody that does is playing themselves or allowing themselves to be played, because it's not just about that. What if somebody's like anti-crypto, but they can't stop it, but then every other policy they have enhances the economy, makes everybody wealthier, everybody does better, we have lower taxes and things, everybody's able to just live happier? Do you not think that's going to help crypto in effect? It's just like, that's just one element of the way I look at things, but I'm not a single topic type of person, and I never have been, I never will be. Well, we still under 40 cents. Yeah, but we're working on it. We're probably going to hit 40 cents here in just a minute, maybe even before this live stream concludes, because it's at 0.398 right now. I'm not so much worried about 40 cents. I'm curious to see where we end up. If you see this liquidity here, this is actually bullish liquidity. Once we start dipping into this, we might slow down a little bit as we continue to work up towards 41 and into 42 cents. 42 cents is where we're going to have to chip away at this a little bit. That's not to say we can't blow right through it. Okay. That's not to say that we can't blow right through this. Because from there, once we get past the 41, 42 cents, we come all the way up, and the next, I would say the next yellow light is starting into 44 cents. And so it just depends, man. Sentiment is key, but ultimately I do think we're going to blow through a lot of this. I would like to see us somewhere around the 45 cent range. Hell, man, maybe within the next week. I don't know. We'll see what happens. you also have to take into account that even in a bull market, when everything is going well, liquidity is always going to play a role in what happens. And that being said, I'm not necessarily expecting this to be an up-only phenomenon from here just because Trump won the election. We're still going to have pullbacks and corrections in the market, which is only natural. And oftentimes these pullbacks in the market are basically there because the market makers are trying to establish a new foundation from which to to push the price up. So we need consolidation at different areas of interest to then basically spring off of. So, and once the price starts rallying and we move up, maybe we go up 10% overnight. Cool, we're up there, but we're probably going to pull back, 3 to 5% in the meantime, because we have to reestablish these new highs, higher lows, higher highs, and all that. And it's just the game. That's what the choppiness comes from. But that's also not to say that we're not going to have some really significant moves, because Cardano, we saw last time it went from 2 cents to $3 in, I think, 6 months, and it happened really quick. And we had some little incremental pullbacks in the midst of all of that. And I feel like something very similar is going to happen here. And I'm totally going to toot my own horn. I see so many people copying my $8 Cardano prediction now because everybody else is starting to take notice and understand. And I'm telling you, how many years ago was it that I made the first 2018 prediction or $8 prediction? And I've made some crazy predictions in the past. I've said, listen, anything's possible. I think, somebody said something to the effect of I made like a $20-something prediction at one point. I mean, that's still in the cards. It's not going to be anytime like right now. But, I think my $8 prediction is absolutely probable. Can't guarantee anything because we just don't know 100% what the future holds, but it's coming. So, yeah. ADA is king. Absolutely. Crow node. Yeah, if you're not delegating your ADA, man, you need to go and get into your wallet, update your wallet, let it sync, make sure everything is good, and like delegate to Crow node. I think it's at like 37 million ADA delegated right now. I'd love to get that up to 50. At one point I think we were breaking through and past something like 60 million and the node was turning brown because we were basically oversaturated. And, so, I'm comfortable. Man, I've got David Nance, who you guys see him in the chat. He took over managing my node for me and he has been gangbusters. He's been building systems so that I can monitor the node myself with all these charts and graphs and numbers and shit that I don't even look at. Honestly, I'm so busy, but he does. And he gives me updates all the time. He's like, man, we just got 37 blocks this epoch. And, he's always updating me with everything. And the node is kicking ass now. I'm not going to lie. The original person that I had running shit was lazy as hell. He didn't do shit. I had to tell him all the time, hey, there's a new update. We need to really get this going. Hey, I was always having to push him. And, it's just like that, but that's kind of how he was with everything. And he always had a million excuses. He's always got a woe is me, oh, please help me kind of freaking thing going all the time. And man, the stuff I've done for that dude, you guys would think I was crazy. I am probably. I did a lot of stuff to help him. He's never done shit for it. I mean, he really has. And he's left me hanging so many times. He's done just, and I'm like, you know what? I'm over that. And then I get somebody like David Nance who's helping me out. And he goes so far above and beyond. I'm like, God dang it, man. Why weren't you around like back at this time? And we could have done so much cooler shit and probably actually finished some things. But anyway, I'm a little bitter. Thankfully, she didn't get in. Let's see here. What is up, Ada fam? Pump up the Ada. Time for the haters to watch and cry. I see some of the comment. I mean, I don't care if people if there are still people out there trashing ADA. That's like, that to me sounds that's like emotional damage. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, man. It is. It is what it is. I just don't care because like the proof is in the numbers and it's just going to continue getting worse for those folks. So let them. I mean, I think that if people genuinely believe Cardano is somehow something it's not, that's cool. That's fair. Believe what you want. But unless you've actually read all the papers and the documents and you have, I just feel like there are people who know and there are people who don't. The people that don't, more power to you. Go buy your Solana and have fun. Like, seriously, I don't care anymore. It is what it is. Go do you, boo. It's all good. I don't care. Stay out of the Cardano ecosystem. We don't need you. We don't want you. That's how I feel about it. 40 cents gonna get smoked. I'm seeing some of the comments. Chupa Papuda, I don't even know what that name is. The sentiment is across the board for sure, but I mean, we're going to find out. It's not going to take that long, right? It's not going to take that long. Here's the thing though, and this is the thing that I find interesting, is that you guys believe, some of you folks believe that, let's just say, we just elected an actual dictator. Let's just say that were somehow true. And like, man, the mask comes off and the skin is shed and we just see this like abominable monster that's about to just ruin everybody's lives and do all this terrible, evil shit. Do you seriously not think that the military and everyone in office, like there wouldn't be an abundance of people to make sure that doesn't happen? I mean, really, folks. Like, I feel like the difference between what I see coming from the right and the left is the left loves to ignore history and pretend there are no similarities in this, that, or another thing. They're like literally programmed to think that way. Whereas the people on the right are the polar opposite. They're like, listen, I'm seeing all these similarities. We're connecting the dots. We are not going to allow that here. And I don't think it matters who is in office. It doesn't matter if the person in office is right or left. If they're doing evil, terrible shit, they will be dealt with. I really believe that. I don't think the people of the past could be effectively in office today and pull off the same types of shit. I don't think that's a possibility because people now are wise. It's one thing like once bit, twice shy. And I think everybody's been bit at this point. So everybody's looking for who are you really? What are you really about? And so far, I've only seen one side try to hide that. So you say what you want, but we're going to find out. Meme coins are very bad for the market. Yes, they are. Jason, Tuesday was a huge monumental victory for traditional American liberties. I agree, Michael. I agree. Cardano was doing a dead cat bounce before going back to 25 cents. You're stupid. Oh, man. Some of you guys you're so insane. Traditional American liberties like owning your wife and drinking and driving. Yeehaw. What the hell are you even talking about? Oh, some of you people are just hilarious. How long before we get to Cardano all-time high? Dude, I don't know. I'm right now, I'm focused on $1. We'll see where we're at in the market cycle at that point. Let's get to 50 cents, then we get to $1. Then from there, I'm going to start focusing on $3 because at that point we'll have built some momentum and we'll have a better idea. I really don't know though at this point yet. Still skeptical until ADA passes 45 cents. Folks, we've been there. I mean, this was July of 2024, and we broke at 45 cents. And when Bitcoin got its first new all-time high, this was March, we broke 80 cents. Stop acting like this shit is impossible. You guys drive me nuts with these bullshit narratives. Like, you guys either don't know what you're talking about or you're intentionally trying to I don't know what you're trying to do, but it doesn't make any sense. The proof is in the pudding. When Bitcoin pumped and had a significant rally, Cardano was right there with it and went all the way back up to 80 something cents. Okay. So we can rest with the idea that the price can't move or that it's not going to move. I think we're going to see significant rallies in this market cycle for a multitude of reasons. And quite frankly, I believe that we're going to start seeing more and more, we're going to start seeing other assets bleed into Cardano as this narrative around Bitcoin OS and the interoperability and scalability and the Hydra and Chang 2 and Midnight and all of these things start coming together as we get closer to 2025 and into the first quarter of 2025, I really think that we're going to start seeing a lot of other assets go to the wayside in favor of what is coming with Cardano. That's what I think. I don't think it's just going to be the Bitcoin OS thing. That's just going to be a part of it. But, we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm always right sometimes. I will say, though, too, that like as far as politics and things like that go, I'm so over it. Like I am. Like I feel like I intentionally went live today to just share some of my thoughts on what was happening, and how I felt it was going to actually benefit us in the space. But I'm like so over and done. I'm done talking about politics. I'm done. It's just like, man, I just want the world to breathe again. I mean, seriously. MSNBC, I think, is now for sale. What was the other one? I think CNN is up for sale. I think Elon Musk has even talked about having an interest in buying CNN for like a few $billion or something like that. Quite frankly, I feel like all of these media outlets would do a lot better if they just stopped the bullshit. If they just stopped lying and went back to actual journalism, they would get their viewership back. But I don't know, for whatever reason, I just don't think they want to do that. So sell and get out, move out. I think there should be some really, really significant laws about propaganda in the media place. I don't think anybody should be able to openly lie on the media. Like the Smith-Mund Act and the, the Fairness Doctrine. Those two things were Obama's doing. And ever since then, man, the media has just ramped up their rhetoric, their propaganda, their lies, their false narratives, all of that. Listen, they've all made enough money. It's time to take a break. We need to go back to like truth in media, and just start putting a lid on that jar, man, and let it just go ferment in a corner somewhere. And we need to start getting back into like real, true journalism, real truth in media. We need to stop the nonsense. That's all there is to it. I made a joke on Facebook where I'm like, listen, if the media were just not allowed to lie, the left would really have nothing to be upset about. And they would probably all just go start a business because they would be so bored. I feel like everybody is so emotionally triggered and emotionally damaged right now because of all of the narratives they bought into for years. And for whatever reason, after every narrative that's been disproven, they just move on to the next one and the next one and the next one. And never do they seem to say, man, every time I'm like hooked on emotionally to something, it turns out to be bullshit. I think I'm going to stop. I think I'm going to just go ahead and take a break. No, they just keep moving and moving. It's just mind blown, man. And it's like, that's how you're brainwashed. When you're constantly searching for that next narrative to get emotionally triggered about, it's like you're chasing the dragon in a totally different way. And I just think people need to we just need to let people breathe again. Let people heal. And then just let what's happening, just let go a little bit, just calm down. And I think people are going to realize that so much of what they've been exposed to and so much of what they've been buying into just isn't real. It's just not. But anyway, hitting 40 is real. Absolutely. Well, hitting 47 isn't easy either. What's funny about being 40, almost 47 is like, I remember when my wife and I first started dating, I'm pretty sure her dad was like 52. And I'm like, I'm almost as old as my father-in-law was when I started dating my wife. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Crow, thank you so much for sharing your feelings and thoughts, man. It is so refreshing and appreciated. Well, I'm glad somebody cares. Thank you, No Name. The thing is, I deal with all the same shit, man. I'm a human being, and there are always lessons to be learned, and I try to do my best to navigate life in the best way possible. But it hasn't been easy. Crow, you're the best, buddy. You help more than, man, I can't. You made me hold on, buddy. Thanks for being one of the real ones. Well, thank you, North Star. See, I don't see, I'm sure this is from earlier. I don't really want to get all super emotional right now. I feel like I've definitely been getting into a better place, and I really, really do appreciate all you guys that watch this channel. And I hope you guys know, like, I really hope you guys know I never mean for anything but good things for all of you. I don't care if we agree. I don't care if we disagree. Sometimes I get aggressive because I so desperately want somebody to understand things, especially when I'm writing. It's like when you feel like you're trying every different kind of approach to teaching somebody something or to get them to understand something. And then sometimes you just feel like there's no other way than to do it with like a smack. You know, it's like a guy in a bar that just won't listen. And you're like, man, I'm trying so hard to be nice to you right now, but you really do need to get the fuck out of my face. Sometimes the only time they understand is like when they're looking up. Just like that's how it's got to be with some people. I wish it wasn't always like that. But yeah, there's so much to be thankful for right now, and there's so much good going on, and I really do believe that we're going to see some major transitions. And yeah, Angry Crypto is really cool, man. He's super. See, you guys have to understand, I've been in like private groups with a lot of these people, man. And it's like, I'm pretty good at getting an understanding and an idea as to who the real ones are. And like, who are the good folks and who are just here to cash in, who's just here to use their audience, use their following to try and fatten their own pockets at every step. And it's just like, you know, I saw a video recently of some guy. He's one of those typical, like, I'm new to YouTube and I'm going to go and try and expose some people that are bigger than me and like make a name for myself by being a troll. And, you know, talking about my paid advertising. Is there a single one of you in this chat right now that doesn't know I do paid advertising? Is there a single one of you that's ever watched one of my videos where I didn't fully disclose the advertisement in the chat, in the description? If anything, I found out recently that you're not even supposed to say exactly how much you were paid for an advertisement. Apparently, that's not a good thing. I didn't know that. I've always said, like, I made this exact amount for this video and this company paid it and this and that. I've always disclosed everything. Now I just realize you're just supposed to say this is a sponsored segment, but I didn't know that. I've always been over sharing, apparently. And it's just like, I've always been so transparent. And the thing that that guy has to understand too, is there are so many people in the crypto space that make up their numbers, or they'll say, well, I know Crow will charge this much and I want to make something off of it. So I'm going to add whatever I think I can get and I'm going to keep the difference. And then so it's like none of these people's numbers are accurate. It's whatever they think, or they contact some person who tries to broker all of the YouTubers in the space. And, you know, well, this guy charges $10,000 and I think I can make 20,000. And so I can negotiate down from there with plenty of room. And so they put that in a freaking Excel sheet and start sending it to everybody. And it's all bullshit. Generally speaking, if I do a paid segment, it might be like $1,000 a minute. That's basically what it all boils down to. Unless it's a dedicated video, then I think it's been as high as like, I mean, I don't honestly remember, because it's always generally based on like a number of Ethereum. You know, back in the day, it used to be Bitcoin, when like Bitcoin was like $8,000, you know what I mean? And then it was kind of like an Ethereum thing in the last market cycle. And this market, it's just kind of like, it's typically like Cardano, Ethereum, or just a stable token. I don't even really care anymore. So, but I mean, I think I've done pretty well with some of them, but I don't even like doing dedicated videos because they don't generally do as well. But anyway, I don't know. There's just so many people out there just trying to like latch on to other people and making up nonsense. And every time I see some of those guys enter the space and they think that that's the way to do it, I'm like, you're a moron. You're already a moron because you don't know what you're talking about. It's so easy to do. Like, somebody could have watched that guy's video, came over to my channel, watched a video with a paid advertising trigger, scroll down in the description and be like, oh no, he disclosed exactly right there. I almost did a video about it. Like, hey, let's see. This guy's saying I'm making $25,000 for a segment on my channel. Let's go to, and I saw that his report from like 2022. I'm like, was I actually making that much back then? I don't really remember. I guess in the height of a bull market, it's possible. But generally speaking, it's not that much. It's not even close to that much. Yeah, it's just not close to that much. And I thought about doing a video like saying, look at how this guy's wrong. And I was going to go back and honestly, I forgot all about it. CSPR, it took a dump. I need to remember what CSPR is. Remember, if you're an asshole and want to call people names, I'll kick you out. Yeah, Crypto Chef's got my back. If you guys are toxic in the chat, especially to each other, sometimes I don't care. People want to talk trash to me, like, Crow, you're an idiot or whatever. I'm like, okay, you're funny. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Honestly, the one thing that I've learned in life, man, is number one, I don't hold grudges. Oftentimes I just speak my mind for what it is at the moment. And I don't hold grudges. Like I don't like holding on to that bad energy. Typically, like, there are always going to be trolls. There are always going to be people that are like jealous of you for this or that. They don't understand what your plight is. They don't know what your problems are. They don't know what kind of a struggle it is. A lot of people, they watch this channel like, oh, look at Crow. He's getting old and he's so rich. He's got it made. He's got a hot wife and he's living the dream. And I'm like, to some extent I am, but there's nothing easy about living, period. It's always a challenge. The differences are, to be very, very honest with you, I feel like I was generally happier with less. And that's the truth. I watched this one documentary a long time ago. And it was about the guy who created Minecraft. And, he had made billions of dollars, I guess, or I can't remember exactly how much he made. And he was basically talking about how, I made all this money. I was super wealthy. Everybody wanted to be my friend. Everybody wanted to be a part of my life, but everybody wanted something from me. And I never knew who to trust. So I just didn't trust anyone. And he partied his ass off. He lived a very, very shallow life because he lost track of himself. There was nobody around him that he felt he could confide in or actually have a real relationship with. And he was miserable and he contemplated a lot of really terrible things. And I'm glad he didn't. But, the reality is money doesn't solve all your problems. It just creates different problems. And it's very, I've always been a loner anyway, so I just do my own thing. I hardly ever leave the house, and I don't know, like, my wife is my best friend. She's everything to me, always has been. Like, and it's like, I don't really have any friends. I never really have. Oftentimes I'll find when you think you have a friend, they're like the first to talk shit about you behind your back. They're the first to like throw stones at you from a distance. And it's just like, those kind of people are just toxic in general. And I always keep them at arm's length. People that are always just wanting something from you. You just learn how to just keep them at bay. Just like, listen, and I also learned years and years ago, like, when somebody shows you their true colors, you believe them. And, I'm really just kind of rambling at this point, but Notch, yeah, that was the guy. Made $2.5 billion selling Minecraft. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Having money is not everything. Having money isn't everything. Not having it is. Well, Willie, well, that's true. I mean, it's like, it's difficult. I would rather have money, obviously, than not, but it doesn't make your life easy. Easier, maybe, yeah, but it doesn't make your life easy. And you definitely do. You definitely do have other problems. You know what I mean? So, listen, I think this bull market is going to change a lot of lives. I think it's going to change all of our lives. I learned after the last market a lot of things not to do. I learned, how to, don't move to Puerto Rico. I can tell you that right now. Don't move to Puerto Rico. Double check and make sure that when the IRS takes the money out of your account, when you pay your tax bill, that you check it again to make sure that it cleared through. Because if it doesn't, they're not going to tell you for years. And they're just going to add a bunch of bullshit to it and then basically give you no choice in the future. I mean, I've learned all kinds of stuff, man. And it's just like, it has not been easy. So, yeah. If you have a lot of money, the key is to not let anyone know. That's, I've learned that to an extent too. I mean, I've never been flashy. And I feel like I've always been very generous, which I feel like I have to tone that down. You know what I mean? I love to take care of people, man. I love when people are around me. I like being the guy that takes care of things. I like being the guy that, I don't know, man. It's like, if you can, why not? But that's not a smart way to live either. Honestly, it's not. I've learned that. And you also learn that, like, people often only care about you for as long as you are taking care of things. It's like that Notch story, man. It's like people are like, yeah, man, Jason's great. He's always good to have around because he always pays the tab. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. And, it is what it is. I've learned a lot. I'm looking forward to this market really taking off. I'm looking forward to the way all of you guys, just are talking about how well you're doing, how much your lives have changed, yeah. Stop capping, Jason. I saw the beautiful Mercedes. You know what? That was the that was the first and I think only time I ever showed my car. I don't even have that anymore. I'm back in an Escalade. I had to get something big that I actually fit in. But yeah. Damn Crow, we're like twins, except I'm Danny DeVito and got the shitty jeans. You're funny, dude. Oh man, I'm so sore from yesterday. I basically, I don't know if I guess I worked out for 45 minutes, but the first time I've done anything for days, and I just did a bunch of supersets with 20-pound dumbbells just to get my body used to it. I've got so many sore muscles. I can feel it. Like, my arms are just like, I don't even have anything right now, but they're still like hard though. From just 20-pound dumbbells. You don't really have to do a lot of high weight, folks, just so you know. And then I worked the bag for a while and made some noise. People like to turn their heads. It was a busy gym and I didn't really have a choice. I was trying to be like more chill, but yeah. Anyway, I'm just rambling now. I've been live for an hour. I just want to say hi and say, listen, folks, it's a new age. It's a new dawn. Here we go. And I definitely feel a lot better. And you know what? For those of you that are at all interested for any reason, I will tell you something that I did. I'm waiting for it to be ready, but I wrote a book. And some of you guys are going to love it. Some of you guys are not going to care whatsoever, but I basically wrote this book. This is something that I was doing a long time ago. And I was working on something like this years ago. I'm trying to get, there we go. I was working on this back in like 2012 and I have like the Facebook, I have I had the domain, I had all of these things. And when I was in my like kind of, I've been in and out of kind of a weird depression now for years, honestly. And I was I was working on this whole idea of Vibranism. And I know it sounds crazy. And it's like, Crow's trying to start a cult. And it's like, no, I've made jokes about it in the past. But really what it's about is and I'm not going to go on for a long time about this. But ADA.3994. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm waiting. I'm wait. Oh, wait. On my chart, it's 40 cents. So on my chart, we just broke 40 cents. It says 40 cents in the tab, but it's 3997. So, or 397. So we're going to see. Let's go to a little 30 minute there. Let's go to a 30 minute there on a chart there. While I'll conclude once we break 40 cents. I want to basically be there. But anyway, yeah, Vibranism is basically like a philosophical foundation. It's all about the vibrational frequencies of atoms and how we relate and connect to one another and how we can change that energy to improve our lives, improve the way we look and feel and think. And, some of the, like the law of attraction is in there. There's just a bunch of stuff, man. And it's a PDF book. And I even have, like, I took my PDF book is like 500 pages. I think it was. The printed version is like 580 pages. I'm still waiting to have that approved for print. But you can get the digital book at all these different places. You can get it on Apple. I'm not doing Amazon because I don't know. I just want to see how does this do without Amazon. And so I'm waiting, and I'm not putting it on Amazon yet. But my wife loves this. My wife is kind of a hippie. Oh, you're not even really able to see the whole thing. My wife loves this. She's been reading it. And there's a lot to it. I'll just say that there's a lot to it. I did use AI. But this is all, it's hard to explain. And maybe at some point I'll get into it deeper, because honestly, I could probably get emotional talking about this, but this was a very big thing for me. You know, like yeah, I'm just going to leave it there, because I ain't trying to get all messed up right now. It broke 40. Did it break 40? Are we at 40? I don't know. I'm still seeing 39.9.3999er. Come on, 40 cents. Who's out there about ready to hit the buy button on this puppy? I just want to see it break 40 cents, y'all. That's all. You guys can't even really see that. There we go. Now you can see the little right side of the chart. Let's go to a 5 minute. What's happening here on 5 minutes? Ooh, Big Daddy. We did wick above it. So we wicked above the 40 cent mark. Now we're at 40 cents, ladies and gentlemen. Cardano's back to 40 cents, on its way to 43, on its way to 50. Let's hope maybe it's 50 by the next time I go live. How about them apples? For those of you guys and gals joining me, thanks for hanging out with me and just letting me rant and ramble and talk and just share my thoughts with you. I appreciate it.